Texas is going to a runoff, according to our NBC News projection here. So, to the point that we're making around the table here with Ryan and Garrett, you see we've got about 57% of the vote in. And Senator John Cornyn, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton will be advancing, which means this thing's going till the end of May, folks. That's how this is going to go down. This is, I don't think, a surprise for anybody involved. I will say in some of my conversations with both campaigns, I asked a little bit about Democrats. Are you even thinking about what that Democratic race would look like? And I think the focus on a potential runoff, and here we are having projecting, in fact, it will be a runoff. Let me bring in Steve Kornacki now, who's following it. Not a shocker, but maybe where the numbers landed is what's a bit surprising here to the point that we're making.
Yeah, I mean, look, about 60% in Cornyn ahead here by 3 points. Keep in mind, this is basically, most of this is early vote, although what we've been tracking, we keep saying, you know, what's the difference between the early vote and the same-day vote? So as the rest of this comes in, is it going to move? There's not a ton of same-day vote that's come in, but the same-day vote so far that's come in has been 43-40 for Paxton. And in those same places where it's come in, where that same day's come in, it had been 43-40 Cornyn in the early. So let's see if there's a trend that develops there. It's too early to say here. But, I mean, I think, look, so much of this now is just about positioning for this runoff. Obviously, we've talked about, you know, Cornyn wants Donald Trump to come off the sidelines. He wants to go to a runoff. What does Donald Trump want to see? He wants to see a candidate, I think, who has a chance to win, right? So how much will how these two finish relative to each other drive that decision by Trump? Can Cornyn finish ahead of Paxton tonight? Yeah. They're both going to runoff, but can he finish ahead? And can he make the case that he's got more life here than maybe some folks had thought versus finishing behind Paxton and having to say, well, I'll make up for it in the runoff where I couldn't do in a preliminary.
And, Steve, just walk us through what it looks like, because we're just talking to Phil in Dallas, who kind of mapped out the fact that John Cornyn's a strong closer here. Where was, I mean, and I understand we're still counting the vote, and this is very close, and it's all going to a runoff. But again, here he is with a narrow lead, which is, Ryan's pointing out, no one expected that.
Yeah, I mean, look, a couple of places here. We figured that he was going to run the best. We figured he was going to run the best right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and right around the Austin area. And by the way, I think worth pointing out here, we don't have any of the vote. This is true on the Democratic side and on the Republican side. I think he's going to do very well in this county, Williamson County, right outside of Austin. So that could certainly help him there in the statewide category. But look, around in the immediate Metroplex there, Dallas, Fort Worth, you could see advantages for Cornyn, but also north of Dallas here in the early vote, Collin, and then up here in Denton, advantages here. It wasn't as clear he'd have an advantage here. And even getting sort of this Texoma region here right along the border. These are small here, but I think I was a little surprised to me when I saw the early vote coming in Grayson County and I saw Cornyn ahead here. I thought when you got out to the fringes of the Metroplex, it might not hold up as well. Additionally, the fact that here in Harris County, it's essentially a tie right now. I think maybe a bit of a surprise here. Paxton actually had done very well in Harris County when he was challenged by George P. Bush from the Bush family with deep ancestral ties to Harris County. It's where it's where George H.W. Bush launched his political career. Paxton had run very well there in his 2022 runoff against George P. Bush, but Cornyn holding his own in Harris County. He got blown out, as we said, as we kind of thought might happen here. Cornyn did north of there in Montgomery County, but he's not getting blown out in Fort Bend County. These are giant suburbs south of Houston. You know, we're getting same day. You know, it's close here. So he's not, you know, outside of this is the only big giant Paxton blowout I've seen in sort of a population center tonight. I think there was a sense that there'd be more of these, maybe not 30 points, but more double-digit Paxton places than we're seeing right now.
How about Collin County, Paxton's home county up there north of Dallas? You know, obviously that's another fast-growing part of the Metroplex there, and a place I would think Paxton has to do well.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, so this is what you find in the Metroplex in Republican politics is you find the Republican electorate, I think there's a higher concentration than elsewhere. It's a little more affluent, a little more college educated. It's a little more culturally moderate. So I think, you know, these were places that were musts for Cornyn coming into tonight. But they've been, so far, they've been delivering for him. Again, we talked about it immediately in Dallas and Fort Worth, but this is when you get north of Dallas and you're, Collin, Denton counties here, north of Dallas, you get into a lot of those kind of well-to-do suburbs, and, Cornyn is doing quite well there. Still some vote to come in, but enough that, as we reset statewide, he's got an advantage there of almost 3 points.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.